Good morning, Julia. And we're at
Are you?
week number 62. Yes, I'm still doing the count, but that's how many weeks we've done the show.
Yep, 62 weeks, and we have an exciting show today. We're going to be talking real estate. I had done a post a few weeks back about a house that was selling, and the price was quite high, and it was. It was not a newer home. Like the kitchen was outdated and everything, and it created a lot of stir on Facebook. So
Hmm.
I thought it would be a good idea to just sit down with some realtors and brokers and people trying to sell and buy houses and see what that's all about. So we're going to be talking with Celine Edie from Excellence Team Realty, Rob Dawson from Cameron Real Estate, and Jason McNamara, who's trying to sell his house, buy a house, and is also a photographer. And I think he does real estate photography as well. So we'll talk to him about that. But before we start, there's a few little announcements I'd like to make.
All right.
So, are you excited to eat crickets today?
I've hidden them behind the laptop because I don't want to look at them. Because if I look at them, I definitely am not going to want to eat them. Anyway, folks,
So,
that's going to be the excitement in the second part of the show for our Monday Munchie taste test.
we're having crickets.
Yeah, they're crickets,
So,
and I got to tell you, they're gross looking.
I don't know whose crazy idea that was.
No, secret chick Julia, I don't either. I get the chocolates and the nice stuff for us. You come up with crickets, salt and vinegar tasting. So
Oh,
anyway, folks,
anyway,
after 10:30, we'll see how brave we are.
yep. And then I want to remind people that we have this little initiative going here. So, in the Seeker of, I think it was March and April, we had the Kids
Hmm.
Are Heroes initiative. So, we're aiming to give a bracelet like this to every kid in Cornwall to thank them for how brave they have been during the pandemic. And so we have little contests going on for these babies. We have about 5,000 to give out. If you follow our Facebook page, we'll have information on how the contest is going to be running. And then we have our essential workers signs, as
Yep,
you can see behind me there.
yep, that way.
So we have done a run of 100 of those, and you can come, well, send us a message and we'll let you know how to go about getting your lawn sign on.
Yep, to thank the essential workers.
Absolutely. So, okay, are you ready to talk real estate?
Sure.
All right, so let's bring our guests
Actually, I
on.
got to mention, it's so interesting. We were sitting outside the other day, and somebody came up right up to the house to ask if we wanted to sell the two houses, the one on the corner and ours. Like that's how shocking it is right now. We
Yeah.
have no sale sign, we have no plan on selling, and they knocked on the door to see if we were interested.
Wow.
Yeah, selling both houses side by side.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing too. I've been thinking of selling mine. I mean, I got a nice location, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of updates on the house, and I know that I would have a much higher price than what I paid for at
Hmm.
this point. Houses, similar houses, have been selling over 300,000. I paid like 120. You know,
Yeah,
so but then what do? I turn around and I buy what? Because then I need a
exactly.
anyway. So let's bring them in and talk about all that today.
Sure.
So here we go. We have Celine. Good morning, Celine.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Here's Rob and Jason. Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Good. We're having another beautiful sunny day, so that's always helpful. So, why is the market so crazy? What happened between? And I know there's a pandemic. Thinking that's not the issue. Rob is sideways.
Sorry.
It's okay. So what happened between 2020 and now that made the market boom so much?
Bob, you want to start or?
Sure. I mean, I think probably the number one contributor has been the pandemic and this whole work from home dynamic. Like I think at the start of it, early 2020, first lockdown, a lot of people are locked in their condos and realize, 500 to 700 square feet without any green space or a pool is just not going to cut it for their family. And so they're kind of looking to leave those areas and get something that has a bit of grass and whatever, especially while they're working from home. And now working from home seems to be a permanent dynamic, and areas like Cornwall are going to capitalize from that.
Yeah, I think we've been in a seller's market for quite some time, even before the pandemic. But it seems that as soon as the pandemic hit us, there's a surge in buyers wanting to get out of big cities and come into our areas, which is very affordable. They don't need to be in big cities anymore because of exactly what Rob was saying, that they have to work from home now. So it kind of materialized from there, and prices have just soared big time.
So what I've been hearing a lot of is that there are also a whole bunch of people who are actually not living here but buying in order to rent. So have you seen that a lot? I mean, there's speculations of a lot of things as to why the prices have gone up, right? So have you seen that?
I've seen it a little bit. I've seen more people coming from out of town wanting to buy. Many people have taken advantage of the market, but as you mentioned, it's hard because as much as pretty penny selling, where do you go from there? Because you're going to end up having to pay more to get into something else.
Yeah. So Jason, you're trying to sell your house right now, and you're in that situation where do you go from there?
Yeah, well, I had shot a house that I really enjoyed, and I thought, oh, I'll make an offer because I wasn't planning on selling. And so in order to do that, they weren't accepting offers for a few days. I had a few days to sell my place, so I put it up. It actually sold, sold conditionally the following day, and I made a little bit of profit, not too bad. But they ended up pulling that house off the market before accepting offers. So now I'm stuck where I needed to find a place. Excuse me. And, everywhere basically on MLS, I looked at 3 or 4 houses, and they were already conditionally sold. So there was that. And then I did make a couple offers, or one offer. I thought a fairly nice over asking value. What I would be willing to pay for it, I just went to that number, and it ended up with 18 offers and sold 7,000 over. And I'm just, at least for me, I'm unwilling to overpay. Like I know that house is not valued at that. I know my house is not either. So once you're in the market, it's not so bad because you're making more than your house is worth. You're spending more than that house is worth, and that's going to just create this vicious cycle. But at least you're in the game. When you're not in the game, I can't imagine getting started right now.
Right. So that's another interesting thing, right? It's almost like they're auctioning off to the highest bidder the houses now, right? So people are kind of waiting for a certain day, because we see that a lot on the MLS. It says all offers are going to be presented on that day, and so everybody comes in with their offers on that day, and then the seller, just goes through them and decide which is the best one, I guess, right?
That's right.
Wow.
And the other thing is, buyers go in blindly. We cannot disclose what the offers are. The only thing we know is how many offers are on the table. So they're going in blindly, putting their best foot forward. That's the best way to do it. In an auction, I think you would know what the other offer is. In this case, we are not permitted. We're regulated. We have to follow some certain rules. And I've seen, Jason, you said 18 offers. I've seen 22 offers on properties. So it's extremely competitive.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think my fear, sorry, is that people get desperate. They've made, they've went in, and you guys know when you're working with buyers, they're very upset. They've put in 16 different offers, maxing out their budget, and then some. And although they are stress tests when getting that pre-approval, I fear, and I know we see this in the States, that people are overextending and becoming house poor. And then when interest rates go up, there's going to be a problem. So I think that it's just that people are desperate, and so you come in with crazy offers, and everybody's feeling exactly the same, and that just causes this frenzy around properties and the prices skyrocketing. But I think it's a dangerous game.
The other interesting thing that's happening as well is that because all these properties are going up in value so much, rents are also going up.
Yeah.
And so it's getting harder and harder for somebody to find a 2-bedroom that's at a decent price. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine how you manage to be a single parent and renting a 2-bedroom today in this market. I'm a part of a group on Facebook that's property landlord owners. I can't remember the name of the group, but basically that's, and everybody is, all the rents have gone up. So it leaves people in a really tight spot, whereas to how to not live over your means, right? Because that's when rent is taking half of your budget, you're kind of stuck. So in your opinion, is this going to go back down, or is this a permanent thing?
Like, real estate in Ontario has historically never really went down. I don't really see how that could happen. Like, it's just a market. You would need a sustained period of low demand and high supply for things to actually retreat down. And there's just never really been a period of time where people can't sell their house. I mean, in my career, in my experience, obviously 2008, there's a lot of factors. You would think a pandemic would be one of those factors, but it has kind of been the opposite. The average, like, it's all relative, right? The average house in Cornwall is just a little over 300,000 now. The average house in Ontario is a little over 700,000. So if we're talking about what's unaffordable, like, relative to anywhere else in Ontario, Cornwall is still extremely affordable. And the rents that we're talking about, while they seem pretty eye-watering to Cornwall tenants from 2, 3, 5 years ago who are used to paying $1,200 a month to rent an entire house, that hasn't been the case anywhere else in Ontario for 5 to 10 years, that you can get that kind of affordable housing, and it's just no longer going to be the case here. The market doesn't really play to the lowest common denominator, to the lowest class of society. Whether or not they can afford a house is unfortunately kind of irrelevant to the factors in a house price. We are going to see a lot of buyers that are priced out of the market, but it seems like there's more than enough buyers coming to our area that are now working from home and able to permanently locate here that they're going to more than pick up that slack, I think. Like, I just don't really see how it could go down in the least inflated area in Ontario. If anything, I see, like, if a real estate bubble is going to pop anywhere, like in the GTA area, there's a lot of condos out there that people can sell, and they're going to be looking for somewhere to invest their money, and that's got to be kind of the cheapest place. It's not going to be somewhere inflated like the GTA. Again, if they're cashing out of that area, they're going to go to small town Ontario, which is right where we are. Like, I think, if anything, we're primed for more appreciation. Like, we've been below average for decades, from what I understand, and we're finally catching up to that, but we're still far behind the average. And Cornwall's a very average town.
So we're living in an adjustment period where we're just kind of catching up to what it should have been.
I think so, yeah, because Cornwall, like, really saw no speculative interest, like, not a lot of demand or desire for a really long period of time, because there was not a lot of growth here. There's not a lot of reasons to move here. There wasn't a lot of, like, skilled, talented workers that maybe do exist here now that they've, relocated, I would say. So going back to a question you asked earlier, like, are people buying properties from outside of Cornwall to invest? That's always been the case. Like, I think even historically in 2017, 2018, 10% or more of the property tax bills were going outside of Cornwall. But now these investors are seeing, okay, Cornwall's an area where there could be a lot of growth and the rents are going up and this is the cheapest real estate in Ontario. So all of a sudden it's got a lot more speculative potential than it did before, I think, too, which is why people are taking a closer look at it than they ever have before.
I know that.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I tend to agree with Rob. I don't think we're going to see a crash. I think we are definitely behind. What's unfortunate is pushing a lot of first-time homebuyers out of the game, and I've seen a lot of them take a step back and wait for that time where it's going to be more affordable, and it might take some time. And I don't, I think it's as Rob says. I think we were just way behind.
Well, it's kind of crazy too, because I think the mortgages, the rules for mortgages have changed a little bit over the last few years, and it's made it harder for first-time buyers to qualify, and now it's even harder for first-time buyers to qualify, and it's a catch-22 because they would pay a lot less if they bought a house, like with their mortgage and their taxes combined, than paying rent. Like I know I was trying to get my son to buy a house a year ago, and I was telling him, listen, you would pay half of what you're paying in rent, because he has like a 3-bedroom, so it's like super high. But yeah, it would have made sense. And now, a year later, there is no way he can. Back then he might have qualified. Today, there is no way he will be able to qualify. So I know that, I don't know if you remember this, Cillian, but in 2006 is when I came to Cornwall, and
yes,
the price is what drew me to the area. I mean, I had found a house. I was coming from Pierrefonds. I had found a house that was $149,000, and it had an indoor swimming pool in it. I'm like, that is crazy. But so yeah, the price really attracts people from outside. That's absolutely right. But
I think the thing is, I think the thing is not necessarily that, like Rob said, prices are not going to drop probably at all. If anything, they are going to keep going up. That isn't necessarily the problem. The problem is that there is just not a supply. And so people are panicking, and my concern is that not only are they coming in guns blazing, maxing out their budget, which is dangerous to do, they're also waiving conditions. They're not getting inspections. They're coming in with cash offers, sight unseen. A lot of these things the government is even talking about. How do we mitigate that? How do we change that a little bit? You don't want to come in at 1.4% interest at your maximum budget or very close to it, and then come when it's 3.4 eventually, and so the banks try and regulate it somewhat or make more money, and now you're going to be in trouble. And my main fear is this no inspection, no appraisal, no nothing, just coming in cash. That's the real problem. It isn't the value of homes. It's bound to go up like everything else. We're just seeing it kind of like under a microscope right now, and it happened very quickly for us here in Cornwall. But no conditions is dangerous, and people are coming in buying older homes for $150,000 over what it's probably worth or what we are accustomed to it being worth, and not doing an inspection. And then you get in there, and not only are you maxing out your budget, but you're not planning for having to spend $100,000 on a big issue you didn't know was there. That's really my fear, not the prices. The prices are what they are. Everything's going up.
Right.
So that's not like that's not an unreasonable concern. He's right that just as a factor of the market, a lot of people do. There's 18 offers on a property. You're not going to win if you have conditions, so you pretty much are forced to go in unconditionally. That is inherently risky, and especially so for first-time buyers that don't have an appetite for that don't have the funds to cover like big expenses. For a first-time buyer to get hit with an out-of-pocket $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 expense can be devastating. and kind of the anecdote about why, you know, it's an issue being a homeowner and you have to have money squirreled away for maintenance costs. He's absolutely got a valid point there. I would say it seems like a lot of the buyers coming to Cornwall making these unconditional offers, like if they got a $10,000 surprise problem in their house, I don't think it would break their bank. I think they're, you know, prepared to absorb those kinds of things, and just to have secured their property. You know, look back a year ago, anybody that made an unconditional offer that was maybe a little skeptical about the value of their house or whether or not they would have the equity to cover problems, they're laughing now. You know, the house has gone up 20% since they bought it. Will that happen again? I don't know. It's not what I would suggest to my clients that don't understand the risks and have an appetite for that kind of thing. But I think truly the kinds of people that are mostly getting into that are adults. They know what they're doing. They can afford it. And, you know, again, the anecdote goes that if you're a homeowner, you've got to have money for maintenance costs. But historically, the equity in your house is more than enough to draw from to cover those kinds of things for homeowners. You know, anybody that bought a house in Cornwall in the last 2 or 3 years, even if they had a $30,000 or $40,000 problem, they could draw from their property to repair it. So that's
would you say the last 2 years have been typical?
No, of course they haven't. Of course they haven't. And so you can rely on it. But, you know, historically, homeowners have had equity to draw from. Maybe they're not getting 20% a year. Maybe they're getting 2 or 4% a year. But it's still an advantage they have over renters. That's, you know, unfortunate. Once you're in the game, like you said, you're really ahead of the game. And if you didn't buy a house 2 or 3 years ago in Cornwall, it's tough to see how you would if you're like the low income population here in Cornwall. I think a lot of people are going to have to adjust their expectations about what they're buying. They're not getting a $140,000 bungalow with an indoor pool anymore. You know, they're going to be getting something. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, you know, they're going to be buying properties in the East End that was generally a less desirable area, and as a result, I think that area is going to become more owner occupied and more gentrified and look a little nicer. The question is, those tenants that are renting those places that are getting pushed out, where are they going? What can they afford? I think ultimately we'll probably see more homelessness in Cornwall.
Well, I was just gonna say, isn't that like it's going to draw the divide even deeper between the classes?
Oh yeah.
The poor is going to get poorer, the rich is going to get richer, and you know, you're back into that. So what do we do with the homeless people? Anyways. But I know for me, it has opened, like the fact that my house has taken so much value in the last year has opened doors where I can now look at redoing my siding, you know, or because now I can draw equity and at a reasonable rate, because I mean, it's crazy how low the interest rate is. So, you know, it opens doors, but that interest rate. So, Rob, you're a mortgage advisor as well, right? Or mortgage?
I'm a licensed mortgage agent. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think we're going to see a spike in the mortgage rates?
Not a spike. I mean, they're being pretty. I don't pay attention to that industry a whole lot. I would say talk to like a more trusted mortgage professional. I'm primarily a real estate agent, but I did get licensed just to become a little more knowledgeable about that stuff. It doesn't seem like they're trying to scare people by spiking rates. The Bank of Canada is being very cautious in what they're saying. They promised low rates for quite a few years. I think the recovery's happening quick enough that they're going to start working them up. But like similarly, everybody's stress tested that's getting a mortgage nowadays, so they can, you know, kind of afford a hike in rates. It's going to be a strain on their wallet, but that's what they qualified under. What they are talking about doing is implementing a stress test for investors that are putting down 20% and making sure they can take a hike in rates. And that's never been the case before. Those buyers were never stress tested. So that should ease the people buying second homes, income properties, like speculative buying. That should tone that down a little bit and sort of stop the 18 offers on a property kind of thing. Prices aren't going to go down, but that amount of competition should level out with more supply and a little bit less enthusiasm in the market.
I've got a question actually about you saying about 18 offers go on a house. Do all these people right now with the pandemic get to go through the house and look at the house before?
Absolutely. Oh yes, absolutely. Definitely. And I think it's our job to, as realtors, to advise our clients. You know, as much as there's competition, you have to advise them and say, listen, if you don't go in conditional, this is what might happen. But unfortunately, as Jason mentioned, a lot of people are coming in cash. Not too many people can do cash. It's a small percentage, especially people in our area, but it's our job to advise them properly. And we take that very seriously.
Yeah. So, Jason, where do you go from there?
Quite honestly, I've given up. I'm not, I put in a lot of work into the interior of my house. There's still some things that can be done. Like we said, I do have quite a bit of equity. So like I've been out in the backyard digging up, moving patio stones. I'm working, just to enjoy this space more. I'm not. I will not. If I had a budget of $500,000, I would not pay 150 over what I think is a reasonable price. I won't do it. Every morning I would wake up feeling like a sucker. I will not enjoy that space. And most of those, because I don't have that huge of a budget, just on my own, being self-employed especially, I'm not willing to overextend and then have to put in a whole bunch of work into another place just to have 200 extra square feet. I'm not paying $200,000 for 200 square feet more. I won't do it. So,
where will you end up? Will you be renting or?
No, I own a house right now.
No, I understand, but your house is for sale right now?
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
Okay. So you took it off.
So I had a conditional accepted offer that somebody gave me, and we had, one of the conditions was that I had X amount of days to find a place.
Okay.
It's a smart way to do it, for sure.
Well, I had no choice. And I mean, I could not have foreseen the house that I wanted. And on my end, everything worked out well. My house sold the following day. I got what I wanted. I would have had plenty of money to buy this place that I liked and have extra for the obvious renovations that had to happen. Everything worked out on my end. I could not have foreseen that they changed their mind or had a personal issue or whatever happened on that end that they needed to bring down.
Was that on Amelia, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I love that place. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I was fully aware of a lot of the work that had to be done. And
yeah, it was a nice place. I showed that to a client too. I got a text while we were walking through it, actually, that they changed their mind or whatever. So I think that's a good anecdote about kind of what's contributing to the problem too. Is like, again, it's a market, it's supply and demand, a case exactly like Jason's where they decide they're going to stay put and are happy with what they have versus shooting for the moon to try to buy some kind of a small upgrade. It's a big unknown. I think that is limiting the supply on the market. Like, we're not seeing a lot of houses under 250,000 for sale because that whole market is just staying put, doing small renovations. They are probably no longer upgrading where they may have been more thinking about that a year or two ago. So that's not helping the supply. Like a lot of the listings we're seeing are people selling their income properties that are tenanted, or people that don't have to buy on the other end because they're like retiring or whatever the case is, moving away to a different city. They're the best ones. The people in Jay's booth where you've got to sell your house, you do okay, and then the big unknown competition is tough. And I totally sympathize with his perspective that, I don't know if this is worth it. I'm not going to jump that much at it. Probably in a year it'll prove that it was worth it, but who knows? I wouldn't, want to guarantee that to a client. So, well,
at the very least, I would wait until there's more supply, and I understand that.
And that seems to be happening now. By the way, like it's May 17th, I can see inventory starting to pile up between 300 and 400,000, and all of that is going to make people stop and look a little closer at what it is they're offering on. So, your wish may be granted, and that things are slowing down. Which is kind of what we all need, I think, at a certain point, is a little bit of a breather.
Well, I think people just need to, the real lesson here is that people are going to need to adjust their expectations. So, if you see a house right now and it's, 350, that house is not 350. That is not what that house is going to sell for. So you're looking at houses on MLS excitedly at night, laying in bed with your partner, and you're like, ooh, this one came up in my price range, or even you're getting auto emails from your agent, and they are coming within your price range, but that is not truly the price of that house.
You're right. When there's one property up for sale that's 350, that one's not going for 350. But right now there's like 6 or 7 nice properties up for sale for 350. So probably they'll all go, close to asking. I don't think they're all going 100 over. Like, that would be pretty astounding. The more that piles up in each segment, the less competitive each segment should be. So hang in there,
No, I agree.
That's insane, though. Like 100,000 over.
I mean, we try to evaluate homes based on what's happening on the market. It's sometimes tough because we put a price on properties, knowing that some buyers, because buyers ultimately make the decision what they're willing to pay for a home. Jason, you don't want to pay $100,000 more for property. We evaluate homes based on what's happening on the market, knowing that buyers might decide to pay $100,000 more than what we feel the value of the home is. Just
so who determines the price that's going to be listed at? So that was one of the arguments that was going on my post, where some people were saying the seller is the one determining it, and the other person was saying no, the agent is the one actually saying how much it should be. So who determines the price?
Well, we base it on comparables. So we do a proper market evaluation based on comparables. So if the house down the street that's comparable to yours sold for $100,000 more, it's check the data basically to determine price.
It is ultimately the sellers, like they're the ones signing the contract, they're the ones agreeing to what's on the paper, they're the ones deciding. They trust us as professionals to offer advice. It's very tough right now to say what a property's worth. Like, we're very much in an area of price discovery, and if your house is like your neighbors and your neighbor sold for $100,000 over asking, I wouldn't be asking the same price that they got, because you don't know if they got lucky, if the next best offer was $20,000 or $40,000 less than that one. You really have to be very conservative, and I think most Cornwall realtors have been very conservative in their pricing. You try to pick sort of a justifiable asking amount based on sales, not based on crazier numbers, but you just can't seem to help it. Like, we're still seeing this activity where you're getting 10 plus offers, and a year and a half ago 30,000 over asking is the highest offer I had ever seen, and now that's a pretty routine offer. $100,000 over asking isn't that uncommon anymore, as absurd as that is. And again, relative to Ottawa, they're going 160 over, 200 over, 300 over. Our area comparatively still looks tame.
Yeah, I was looking in Windsor a few years back, and they had that kind of stuff going on where buyers would just flock and send offers on a certain date, and yeah, it was that's why I didn't move, because it was always competing against like a whole bunch of people who waived conditions, and I was just not willing to. Plus, Cornwall is my home now, so
Yeah.
Like it.
yeah. Oh no, I love Cornwall. That's the best move I've ever made, is to move here from Montreal in 2006. Sorry. It's a perfect place. It's booming. I think it's growing. It's got a lot of potential. We got like a beautiful waterfront. I'm actually bringing people in now, so
Good.
yeah. So okay. Tips for sellers, tips for buyers. What would you tell a seller to do? There's not much tips because it sells itself, right?
This time, yes.
Yeah, so for sellers, just be conservative with the pricing. It is a strong market. You can get away with a lot, but we're never going to discourage anything you want to do to improve the property. A fresh coat of paint and stuff like that always helps. Really, it's about picking the right strategy for whatever you're trying to accomplish, whether that's holding offers or taking them preemptively, what kind of an asking price you're going to put out there based on the competition on the market, not just what's sold. There's a lot of different factors to look at, even though it is in the seller's market and they do generally sell themselves. For buyers, you want to consult with a professional about what you can do to get the property you want. But really, when you're up against 8 or 9 or 10 other people, there's not really much any agent can tell you, I don't think. You don't want to be overpaying, so certainly get some comparables and do your research about what these similar properties have gone for. But sometimes someone pays a price and that sort of establishes a precedent for an area, and then it follows in that neighborhood. So it's hard to say when you're a new sale in a neighborhood that it's not worth it. But in hindsight's 2020, looking at it afterwards. The only information you get as a buyer when you're in a multiple offer situation is the number of competing offers. You're not getting told the highest offer or when they want the appliances are. Like, you're told when the sellers would prefer to close, but not everybody else's terms. So really the only advice that I've been giving to my buyers is if this is the one for you and you really love the house, then by all means make an offer. You're not going to have any regrets if it gets accepted or not accepted. And just kind of maybe base your offer based on the number of competitors. If you're just up against one or two other people, probably that one or two other, that other competitor probably hasn't paid $100,000 over asking. And I don't think there's a lot of sense in you making such a competitive offer. But when you get to 5 or 10 competing offers, try your luck. Almost certainly a few of those are going to be unconditional at least, and presumably all of them are over asking.
Wow.
Yeah, I think for sellers, it's important that they know where they have a plan in place. It's fine if you don't have to buy another home, but for those that do need to buy, they need to know and have a plan in place, because selling a home right now is going very quickly. So if you don't have a plan in place, you gotta be clear for that. And for buyers, a pre-approval, even though it doesn't secure your mortgage approval, it's really important to get pre-approved, so that if they fall in love with a house, that they know there won't be any delays.
Okay.
I know I was telling Julia earlier, a few weeks ago, we got a knock on our door. Our house, we have a house beside us that we own. Neither are for sale, and somebody asked if we were willing to sell. So
because we don't
right now,
have enough inventory.
That's not surprising.
It's not surprising. No.
The private market is one of the only places you can get a deal now. If you can find a seller, knock on their door, and they agree to sell you you don't have to face like 2 or 3 other people. It really is one of the only ways to get a deal. So they're sort of hoping to take advantage of a seller that's not interested in looking at all that competition. And for some people, there are circumstances where they don't want a bunch of people to their house. They're just looking for a quick sale or a unique circumstance where they can close far away. There are situations like that, but by and large, everybody right now wants exposure in this market and to see what kind of competition it brings. Like, I've met many a private seller that left tens of thousands of dollars on the table because they didn't see the market.
Right.
Yeah, we're kind of we're not in a bad position because we can sell. We're actually building right now, but we're not going to be ready probably for another year. So we're not looking at selling, but I wouldn't want to be in that position right now that you're trying to find something like Jason was.
Hold on to them. You can rent them and make a fortune.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly like when I noticed that I was making an offer and I was indifferent if I got it or not, I knew that maybe I shouldn't be in it right now. So that one house sparked it in me, and I was like, oh, that's so me. That house would fit my personality, would fit my family, it would be perfect. But besides that, I wasn't looking. I see a lot of houses. I shoot houses almost every day. So when I realized that I didn't really care if I got it or not, then I probably shouldn't really be in there. And like I said, this would be a great rental down the road. My wife's starting a new business herself. There's things growing this year. We've got a lot of irons in the fire already. So perhaps it was just better for me to leave.
Well, Mai-Liis thinks everything happens for a reason, so.
I do. It just wasn't the right time for you.
That's right.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us about real estate this morning. And best of luck to all of you. I'm sure it's a great time for realtors and photographers who shoot real estate. But
thank you so much for having us.
Thank
you. No
problem.
Have a great day.
You too. Everybody have a good week.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well, that was fun. There was not a lot of questions from the public. We had a lot of viewers, but not a lot of questioners. Anyways, I guess we answered all the questions preemptively.
Yeah, I think everything was kind of talked about. But as far as rental right now too, like I know I was not saying much because the conversation was so interesting. But as far as rentals too, it's hard to find a property to even rent right now. Not even for a decent price. It's just hard to find a property. So there's nothing.
It is. And you know, I was looking at selling my house, like because it's really attractive. The market is super
Mm-hmm.
attractive. You're like you're looking at this and you're like, wow, I could make cha-ching, cha-ching, you know, I
Yeah.
could really make a bundle of money, because I think my house could probably sell for 350 easy
Yeah.
right now. And like I said, I paid 124, I think it was 10 years ago. So you're looking at that and you're saying like, wow, you know. But then I started crunching numbers and I'm looking at houses that potentially could fit my family, right? Because I
Yeah.
mean, we have a big family. There's no way I'm going under 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So I'm starting looking at what's on the market, and then you gotta pay like 450,000, you know, and that's the starting price. And I'm calculating, okay, well, if I put the down payment and I put this much as a down payment and put this much aside, and I mean, my mortgage right now is about $400 a month.
Which is a lot
So,
less than people pay for rent.
so, and then I'm looking at changing that for like 1,200,
Yep.
1,300, 1,400 a month.
Yep.
Like,
Plus
it
utilities.
makes no financial sense whatsoever. So I'm like,
Oh.
you know what? Just forget about it.
Yeah, and the thing is too, yeah, it'll be high, but are you going to even find anything at this point with everybody putting bids
Well,
in?
and
then
that's
you're
the
going to be
thing.
what? Stuck without a home and then trying to find
Yeah.
somewhere to rent. It's just not.
And it's a lot of
too
heartache,
scary.
because you find something you like, and then
Yep.
you're competing against 20 people to get it. So, you know, chances
Yeah.
are you're not going to get it, and then your heart breaks because, you know, your dream house is gone, and then you go through that, like, I don't know how many times before you actually, you know, find the right one. So anyways,
Like eventually
that's
it'll
my
be
take on it. That's why I can't.
for us, it's going to be, a perfect scenario. If we ever decide to sell and we built the other one, we're okay. But again, chances are we probably won't sell. We'll just keep them as rentals. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. If it was meant to happen, it'll happen.
exactly. All right. So I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
too.
I'm just afraid. It's time. Oh, you know what? I remember that I just didn't change the thing. So don't pay attention. It says Kit Kat, but it's not Kit Kat. I'll stop it
Okay,
there.
you
There
said
you
you
go.
said Kit Kat. I'm looking for Kit Kat. I'm not
No, because
looking at this.
on my intro at the end, it says this week we're trying Kit Kats, and it's not that. So
It's not definitely
here
not
we
Kit
go,
Kat.
people. The moment you've been waiting for. I don't know.
And the moment that we haven't been waiting for.
We've been dreading. Oh my God, they've been sitting on my desk, Mai-Liis.
Yeah, well,
And I've
I
been
hid
looking
mine
at them, and I'm
yesterday.
like, oh. Anyways, just for everybody's information, it is this thing has 3 ingredients. Whoops, this side.
And
3
I know
ingredients.
I was always told if you cannot pronounce it, don't eat it. These
Well, you
two
can't
things,
pronounce all of this.
yeah, you can, sadly. So what are they, Julia?
Crickets, salt, and vinegar. That's it. And there's a best. I can't show it, but there's a best before date, and it's 2022, so we're safe. And I'm gonna open the package.
Oh, it's sealed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. I don't even think I want to touch them.
So
Okay, here's how disgusting they look. Oh,
Gail tells us, don't be so afraid of eating them. They're really tasty.
I just don't like the look of them. I
don't like the look of them either.
Honestly,
Oh
I
my
don't know if
God.
I can do this.
Oh my God. You can't disappoint, Mai-Liis.
Can I have the cat taste test them first?
If you want. Okay, there's a little leg here.
Okay, where's? Oh my God! So you're doing? Oh,
I'm gonna just try the little leg at first.
I can't even find the leg. I don't even know if I can touch
Denise says, "Oh my goodness, are you going to eat those?"
The eye is looking at me. The eye is looking. I don't even.
Oh my God!
Honestly.
Oh my God, this is so gross.
Wait a minute.
Here's a little leg.
Wait. I'm gonna see if I
What
have a
are you
Kleenex
doing?
here. Oh, I have a bit of Kleenex. I don't think I can touch it.
Eat the leg, Julia. Somebody says, eat the leg, Julia.
I
I think
can't
that's
even find the leg. Where's
eat the
the
whole
leg?
bug. Are you
Oh
kidding
God,
me, Jen? I am not eating the whole bug. I'm gonna start with a leg. All right, here's the leg.
I'm
Here
trying
I
to
go,
find.
Mai-Liis.
I've got
Mai-Liis,
them
I'm
all on
going.
the table, Julia. I'm trying to find a leg.
Just
Oh my
grab it
God.
from one of them. Grab
Okay,
it from one of them.
I have a tiny leg.
Okay, so let's go. We're trying the leg.
Okay. Oof.
1, 2, 3.
It's
It tastes like
actually,
nothing.
it's okay. I
I
just
think we're
can't.
gonna have to grab the other things.
I
Okay,
can't.
so I'm gonna try the body, but here's where I stop. The eye, I can't do the eye. Like,
What are you
I
gonna
don't
touch?
think I can do the eye.
We have
I'm
a
gonna take
picture.
a bite.
So we have a. You can bite the rump, the flank, the wings, the breast, or the. I can't even read the last one.
Okay, let's be brave and just take the whole thing.
Okay, I'm not eating the whole thing. I've got mine wrapped in a Kleenex because I can't touch it. I don't even want to touch it. This way, I don't. I've got it upside down. This is the rump, the bum part. What is that?
Okay,
You're actually. Oh no,
I
I
have the
can't.
whole thing there,
I
but I
can't.
think I'm gonna stop at the eye. So I'm gonna just take a bite.
I'll bite the bum.
Oh, I mean,
As long as I'm not looking at any of it.
it doesn't taste bad. It's just
It,
it's just that it's a cricket, right?
it just
I
tastes
mean,
like it tastes a little salty and
yeah,
crunchy.
I
That's
don't
all
taste
it
the
is.
vinegar. It's crunchy. I don't taste the vinegar.
Yeah, just kind of crunchy.
No, I'm not putting the whole box of them in my mouth. I think this is as far as I'm gonna go.
Well, mine, I'm still holding it in the Kleenex because I can't touch it. I got the other ones laying here
Me too.
on the table in front of me, and
Well,
they just
I
oh
see. I bit right off the head. Like I took the whole body, but
oh
I
you
left.
did?
I can't do the eyes.
No, the
It's
eyes are kind of
gross.
staring at you. They're little black
Yeah,
things. I'll take one
kind of
more
gross.
bite.
I
Yes,
mean, they're not bad. They're not bad. It's just I think I can't get past the, you know, I can't. Yeah,
I mean,
I can't get past the fact that it's a cricket.
seriously, folks, can you? I still can't touch it. There you go. There's a. Can you see the little eye? Wait, no. Wait, here we go. I mean, there's the head. Seriously, the eye is just looking at you.
That is gross.
I wonder
Crunchy,
if my cats would even eat them. I'm gonna try it.
crunchy dried bug
Bug
guts.
guts, lol.
So okay, if I was judging on taste alone, I mean, I could give it a 8 on taste alone. But just because I can't get past the um, look of it, I'm gonna have to give it a fail.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
giving it a fail.
I mean, taste. Like I say, it's not bad, and the texture is okay as long as you don't.
Yeah, it's
I
crunchy.
couldn't.
It's kind of like a chip, right?
Yeah, and a little bit of salty taste, but I
Yeah.
can't. It's the eyes looking at me.
I can't either. It's just like
I
but
can't.
uh,
Don't even want to
okay.
touch them. Yeah, there we go. We'll put the picture of the actual thing.
What do you give it? Like I give it a fail. It's not even a 1 or a 2. It's like a total fail. I would never eat that again.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, otherwise it's like a 5 kind of thing, but I couldn't eat the whole thing. And
Yeah.
we won't be trying these, and don't even come with chocolate covered ones. I don't think I can
Yeah,
do it.
if they were chocolate covered, I think I could manage that because you wouldn't see the damn bug, right? You would see a chocolate
Yeah,
thing.
you just see like a chocolate
So
piece.
yeah, so I think I could get past that. But this,
Okay,
I
go
can't.
ahead, order them, and let's see if we can.
I don't know if I can order that. Anyways, those were, by the way, if anybody has a craving for crunchy um, crickets,
You
they
can pick some up at either office. Like there's two places that we can give them. We can give them to you.
they come in salt and vinegar, barbecue, and cheddar. I bought those on Amazon. They were not available locally.
I
So
wonder why.
I wonder why. I think the demand is not there.
I
So
think one of the wings has fallen off of one of them. I still can't even eat the wing.
it's gross. It's totally gross. Somebody said I should have my husband try it. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
My husband would puke right here, right there. Like there's no way.
that's what I told
Anyway,
Sheldon. I said, "You're going to come on the show and you're going to eat one with us," and he said, "I don't think so."
oh, it's gross. Anyways, people, so this is what we tried today.
Wait,
Crickets
what? Here,
on
mine's still wrapped in a Kleenex because ooh, look at the,
Munchie Monday Munchie
ooh,
taste
there's a
test.
long leg sticking out of that one. Look at the
Oh,
long
look at
leg
that. Yeah.
or something.
Mine have are kind of all pulled apart. Like the legs are pulled apart, the wings are off. Like there's a whole bunch of
Well, luck.
little
Oh my
little
God.
body parts on my desk right now.
Yeah,
Anyways, body parts. It's funny how we're fine with eating chicken and beef and stuff, and that's all fine and dandy.
look at
But
his little
they
eyes
come
are
with a
looking
little.
at you.
Oh God.
No,
Anyways, that was our Monday Munchie taste test. You're not
yeah.
going to see that again. I hope you really took a good look because we're not eating bugs anymore. Next week, I think we're going to try these scrumptious stuffed cookies. I think they are from that place on McConnell. What's it called? Once Upon a Time, I think.
Yeah, once upon a time, the coffee shop.
Yes.
Apparently, it's a
So,
good. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. And here's
I
me. I
think you
gave.
should each do the Fairy Sweet Challenge. Can you eat a 5-pound peanut butter cup in an hour?
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I
I
can do
could.
that either.
Yeah, I don't think I could. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, I
We
saw
had
that.
the Ferry Sweet always does like those big things, and one year they had done the biggest Ferrero Rocher
Yep,
in the world. They were going for the
the Guinness Book of
world rec.
Records.
Yes,
Yep,
and
that
I
was at the
bought that.
Women's Day show.
Yep, and I bought that Ferrero Rocher because she put it up for sale after on eBay. It was like an auction thingy, and I bought the whole Ferrero Rocher. I had it in my freezer for years and taking chunks at it once in a while. It was 10 pounds Ferrero
Wow.
Rocher. Yeah.
Did you ever finish it off,
Mhm.
or?
Yeah, we finished it off. We're like 7 people in this family, so yeah, people took chunks at it, one time, and we did it. It was beautiful.
It was.
It
It
was
was
really
huge.
tasty, and we had it for years. So
Well worth it.
yes, it is. All right.
I think some part of that thing is making me cough just a sec.
It's like the leg is tickling your throat.
Yeah.
So Sheldon was saying that we should try to do like healthier stuff, right? So if you people have some comments or not comments but suggestions on what we should try um, on Monday Munchie Taste Test, we would love to try different things. Um, Hopefully locally sourced. So if you know a restaurant or a store that sells something unusual, different, that we must try, we'd love to do that.
But you know what? Talking healthy, seriously, the whole box of these things, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in there. The whole box is 4.3 calories. There's no fat. There is 4 mg's of sodium. There's no carbs, and 0.67 protein. So I mean, really, you can't get fat from eating these, so it's pretty healthy, but they're just
It,
not good.
it's a healthy snack.
It is a
If
healthy
you,
snack when you read it, and you can
yeah.
pronounce all the 3 ingredients, but no, can't be doing that. Before we go, I want to just say quickly, congratulations to Jennifer Jodoin Young. Last week we had Archambault Ironworks on, and she had a contest going. If you can, I'll just do the question because. So it says, tell us where there's a set of steel Chinese dragons made by Archambault Ironworks on a restaurant wall, and you can win $100 gift certificate to purchase something at Archambault. And I guess Jennifer won. Gail did a draw last night at 6, and the answer is Jack Lee's. They're at the on the wall at
Okay.
Jack Lee's at the restaurant. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
different.
I never really paid attention. I would have said the panda. I would have guessed panda.
Well, I mean, you drive around and like all the garbage cans, the steel bases and stuff. There's so much stuff from Archambault, so it's kind of amazing. But yeah, congratulations, Jennifer. Now you can go purchase something for your garden. And
Awesome.
we do want to put a quick shout out that we are working on the June Seeker right now. So if you have anything to send in, deadline is the 22nd. If you want to place an ad, there is a section at the front that's going to be about seniors. So if you're a seniors home or anything related to seniors would like to place an ad, let us know, info@theseeker.ca. And the back part is going to be an awesome staycation issue.
It is going to be awesome. It's going to be packed with information. We have like 100 places to go to visit in the area. There's a list of interesting facts of stuff in the area. There's going to be articles from little unusual day trips that you can take. It's going to be really good. I think we're going to be 40 pager this month. It's going to be quite something. So if you have anything that has to do with staycations, like if you're a must-see store in the area, if you have like I'm sure, like, if you have an outing, or I know the festivals and all that is kind of different this year again. I know Rib Fest is still going to happen, but in a different format, kind of hoping for a little more than what it was last year, but it is what it is, right? We still have to be careful. Although I'm super excited that the vaccines are really, the speed has gone up. My husband got his first last week. I'm getting mine this week, my first dose, and then it's
And
going to open up.
I told you I got mine too. I think I discussed it. Did I last
Yeah,
week? I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah, you did.
Scared as I was, it's really like a tiny mosquito bite and nothing, but very well
It is.
organized. They did a good
Yeah,
job
yeah, absolutely.
at the
And
Benson Center.
it opens up for kids in at the end of May as well. May 31st, I believe the date is for 12 to 17. It's going to open up. So yeah, I'm hoping for a summer that's going to be a little more normal than last year's summer, and finally maybe we can start getting together with our friends and families. And I know I have a killer backyard. I'm working on that all weekend. I've invested money in my backyard this year because figured might as well. Might be stuck
and
in there for a little while.
I'm making mine into my little oasis with all my flowers and stuff. And
Mai-Liis has a beautiful garden.
Julia came and bought me my crickets yesterday. We did the exchange. She gave me crickets. I gave her a couple of bird houses. I'm not sure who got the best deal out of that, but
well, the birds have not come yet, so I'm not sure. Like, I've placed the 2 bird houses with the feed on it, and I'm not sure if they're gonna come. They'll come.
They'll come. I put one actually I think I told you I put one at my front window because the office is at the front. And yesterday, one of those big blackbirds with the blue head tried to get something out of it because it's meant for smaller birds. So I just figured, oh, well, he's found it. He'll call the other friends. But again, it's when one finds it, they'll call each other. You'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be keeping my eyes
You'll be
open.
waiting. Who's
All
going to
right,
clean
people.
up this? Who's going to clean up the cricket mess?
Ask your cat.
I will.
All right, people. Well, that's it for us for today. Hoping that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you next week.
And have yourself a super duper week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.